Next question is from Brian Robinson. Dear Sat Shree, you speak of the Middle Kingdom and traveling through the subtle planes as part of the process of awakening to the universal. Are there different ways in which these subtle planes can be experienced? And does everyone have to go through all these experiences in their journey? Love, Brian.
No, it's not necessary. It depends upon your role, what your function will be when your manifestation occurs. But even then, some people I know who've come from awareness and didn't meet the subtle plane at all. They just jumped the whole domain where all the gods and beings and forces and mantras were, and they met the more senior Brahman, the greater thatness, and therefore bypassed it. But even those who come to that point, if they choose to manifest, they will then start meeting these domains proportional to where it's needed for their manifestation. And therefore it'll become recover. It'll all be demonstrated to the proportional needed. An experiential person, one who comes like I was, where the Ashakti, the Asat awoke, and that is what took me through the experiential domains. I had to travel through those first before I came to that which was beyond them. And now this is, when I came to that beyond them, I recognized instantly what truth was. And I recognized that it was greater than all the years of experiencing of all the previous domains of experiential, spiritual, experiential events or recognitions or mergers that were occurring. And that was a greater truth. So I can say that, therefore, the greater truth is probably the first focus for people who are on the path, unless they're already experiential. And then they'll be taken through that relatively quickly because of their relationship with me, until they too have access to that quality of awareness that comes from the Brahman, that comes from the Supreme. Because then you travel through these domains, you experience them, but you don't get lost in them because there's something higher calling you. And that was what the role my teacher played in my life, was it allowed me to come outside of the thrallment of all the, I mean, these are all gunas. I vary from lower vibration to higher vibration gunas. That's what the Middle Kingdom is. It's the creation. The whole creation carries the evolutionary purpose. And that when you step to the Brahman, you step outside of the creation, at least at the first fringe of it. There's still you there, but it's still very free, or at the moment of the unity, completely free of the entanglement with that entire domain. So, Brian, in your particular case, you're in life, you're living life vigorously, and you are also manifesting through the study groups and your interactions and participation. So what's happening for you is you're being carried through first the quality of your human life until it loses its authority, where you can do it without any effort, which I think to a great extent you have. And then there will be a natural opening. Now, in your system, you're a mix of awareness and experience. So I suspect you are already experiencing aspects of the subtle world, but the person of you isn't recognizing that that's what you're experiencing. The ability to know the nature of what is going on in your system is proportional to how removed we are from the dynamic outer human life. So it's okay. You don't need to experience these. They're there, until which point it's important for you to know these things. Yeah, you know, your path, each of your paths, is the only path for you. Listening or hearing of others' paths that sounds better, or maybe to give doubt on your path, is an error, because you're only going to walk your path. That's it. And that path may go this way or that way, but it's your path. So comparing yourself or trying to evaluate it through even the aware intelligence, it's just play. Understanding has some utility, but it's not important to the very essential principle here, is you are already that which you seek. You already that which you long for. And you're in a process of discovering what that is by one, strengthening the divinity you are, and two, more inhabiting the human you are, until they both together can travel in this journey, proportional to what deepens and enriches your ability to be useful to fulfill your purpose. Now, you should know that when I answer these questions, obviously something else is happening besides an answer, but it is a pointing to an inherent wisdom that we have, that we recognize. And then when we hear it, it brings a kind of a completion, a resolution. And that's you swallowing, receiving the truth of what you are. And the more we eat of that table, the more empowered we are to trust our own journey and to trust our own path and to endure the process that it requires. You know, it's not a question answer, right? It becomes something else, but that's perfect. It's under the disguise of questions and answers. It's making it deeper. Yeah, it's funny how it is, because it's in the question that we open the door for an answer that may be greater than what asked the question. Should that not be the role?